Do you use it all though?
I feel fulfilled now
Do you
because
use it all?
I use it every day. Yeah, I
No,
use
but
it.
do you use all of it?
Oh, well, someone asked me the other day, do you turn every button, like turn every knob and push every button? No, no.
Looks good though.
There's definitely certain ones I've never touched.
Yeah.
But I use it every day. Yeah, I use every channel every day,
Yeah.
and I will do till the end of my career, I'm sure. Yeah, so like the NS10s I've got up, and I've used those every day since 1997.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? So,
I can't stand those speakers. I don't know why everyone loves them.
I don't think anyone loves them.
They just sound awful.
They sound shit, but that's
the whole point. Yeah, I know. I get it.
I've got my good speakers and then I've got my bad speakers. They're not bad actually. They're good. They're just like I always see them as like a section of sound. They're this section. Do you know what I mean? Rather than they do what they do.
I guess my question is are people listening on worse or on the same level of NS10s nowadays? I don't think they are. I think everything is better than them.
Yeah, well, probably the iPhone speakers better.
Literally, yeah.
But they have better frequency range. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Maybe I should get rid of them.
No, don't get rid of them. You love them. It's fine. I just won't be buying any.
It's just 20 odd years, 25, 27 years of hearing them.
Yeah.
It's like
just know
my brain knows what they sound like. Yeah. Same with this. Where are you? This.
Yeah.
Little tiny speaker I used to have next to my bed for 10 years in London that I woke up with it every morning.
Yeah.
I know how music should sound on it, so it's in my studio.
It's funny that because I've toyed for years to get new monitors in my studio, and because I have a place here and I have a place in Detroit. And
where are you now?
I'm in England at the moment.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah. And
hence the cushion you owned.
Yeah. I don't know why there's a Scottish cushion there because I'm not Scottish, so like at all. Yeah. I don't know why I think somebody bought that for me. I don't know why.
You're not calm either. Calm. Yeah. No, I'm just calm and carry on. Keep calm and carry on. All I can see is calm and carry. Calm and
carry. But yeah, I was always worried about that as well. It's like I know these monitors so well.
What have you got?
Just Adam A7.
I mean,
they're not the best.
Stick with them.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. I've got these I don't even know how to say it. Guy Thane RL901Ks I use. And with the subs, and when I bought them, Olaf, who makes the speakers, said to me, "You sure you want the subs? Nobody has the subs." And I was like, "That's why I want the subs."
Yeah.
He's like, "They won't be flat anymore." I was like, "I don't want flat. I want nightclub."
Yeah.
But these speakers for me, the first time I heard them, so I went in the shop to buy Barefoots.
Yeah.
I just had it in my head. I wanted a pair of Barefoots.
Of course. They look... It's the go-to, right?
Yeah, or Adams. Was it Adams?
The big ones.
Can't remember. No, it wasn't. I can't remember what it was. There was 6 speakers. I was. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. I think it was those. But they're not the big ones, the smaller ones. And I went in and compared them, and they sounded so different to each other. I was just confused as hell. I was like, Barefoot sounded one way, and these other ones sounded other. So I was like, I don't really know where I stand now. I'm confused. And I went upstairs, and just before I left, the guy was like, "Oh, you should listen to these Guy Fanes." He said, "You won't want to mix on them, but just have a listen." And I sat there and I went, "Jesus Christ!" Like that. Do you know when something just feels like home?
Yeah.
You know when you meet someone, you feel like you know them. It's that kind of vibe. And they were like double the price of Beth. I was like, I had to buy them.
Get them. Are they the ones that are like hand built?
I don't know if they're hand. It's funny because I bought them in the end from direct from.
It's Sweden. Is it in Sweden?
Germany.
Okay. I'm thinking.
Geithain is the village they're made in.
Okay, I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah. And so the guy Olaf I was dealing with to buy them, I thought he was the salesperson, but it turned out he made them as well. I said, because I had when he sent them to me, one of them had a little issue on transit, and I said, oh, who do I speak to? And he said, me, speak to me. I was like, okay. It's like a one-man band.
Love that.
I think they're pretty big in Germany though. But oh man, these speakers, I always think they're the best speakers in the world. And my old stepdaughter, previous stepdaughter, I don't know how to even say it, my ex-stepdaughter, my ex's daughter, she said to me, she came in my studio and she was like, oh, my granddad's got those speakers. And I said, nah, your granddad won't have those speakers. Anyway, my granddad came to visit one day and he walked in and he was like, I've got those speakers. I was like, what? And he said, they're the best speakers in the world, aren't they? And I was like, that's what I tell everyone.
Really? I've never heard of the brand.
No, well, yeah. I'm selling them here.
Are you on a commission, like a affiliate link?
5%.
Yeah. No, speakers are a strange one because realistically, the more you spend, the better you get. That I feel like that is the case with speakers.
Yeah. I don't know though, because it's like £1 million speakers, aren't they? And surely.
True. Like there's a level.
At that point, I've seen these £1 million sound systems, and they're in such shit rooms.
Yeah.
So, what's the point in that?
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't treated your room at all, and you just got this weird sound system in there.
How have you treated your room?
That's a good question. I was about to say I haven't treated it, but I have. I didn't really need to treat it because when I moved in, it was translating pretty well, but it was a bit light. But then I've got these things, and this whole back thing is a massive
diffuser.
It's a membrane absorber. The front of it's sort of diffusing. Behind it, there's a huge rubber membrane absorber, and then behind that, there's a stack of probably 11 stacks of rock wool.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it's all hidden nicely.
Yeah, it looks great.
But it did wonders for the room. There's a lot of rock wool in this room, hidden away, and it's got really high ceilings, like 3.5 meter, I think they are high, which is probably the key actually to a good room. You've got high ceilings there as well, I see.
Yeah, these are like.
Is it vaulted?
Yeah, really high. Wow, yeah.
It's so important because most people neglect the ceiling height. You know, they're like, oh, dimensions of the room, but they forget about the height. And then you end up with your speakers. Most rooms are 2.4 meters high, and your speakers are at ear level, halfway between the ceiling and floor.
Yeah.
Just get all sorts of problems.
Yeah, my place in Detroit, I got an acoustician to come in and do it because it sounded so awful, but it was lower ceiling, and my speakers still sound terrible in there because the room's so big.
Yeah, but I always say like just get your speakers out of that middle between. You know, if you can lower them and then lower your chair, you might end up like sitting like this monitoring. Yeah, but it will sort a lot of the problems out. I did studio design at university, by the way.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I don't really remember much about it. It's such a grey art, to be honest, acoustics. But yeah, that was what my dissertation was on, studio design.
So did you design yours, or did you get somebody else to do it?
Well, I didn't really design this. It just kind of, I moved into this room when I bought this house.
So it's in your house?
Yeah, it's sort of on it's connected to my house. Yeah. It's not in the house as such. But it's an old library. It's an old Georgian house, and this was the library originally. And so I moved the console in here temporarily when I moved in. I was going to build a huge studio in the garden. But then everyone that came in was like, "Oh, your studio's wicked." Yeah. And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's quite cool, isn't it?" And then I realized it actually sounds quite good as well. For various reasons, because of the high ceilings, it's got like, it's kind of surrounded by other rooms. Like behind here, there's a corridor. Okay. It's a weird setup. And underneath there's like storage units. So it's like a floating room, basically. Yeah. Just somehow bass sounds good in here, and when you're outside you can't hear it. It just disappears somewhere. It's like that's great. The magical room. Yeah. Even if you're in the living room next door, you can't hear any bass. It's like, yeah, it's the weirdest thing. And you know, I've got 4 16-inch subs in there.
4.
So yeah. Well, probably 2 working. To be fair, I think when you connect the top 2 to the bottom 2, I think it probably creates them as a mid. But yeah, I have.
That's a good amount of subs.
Yeah, that's what Olaf said. It's too much. But he gave me the remotes to turn them off. He was like, you know, and I've never turned them off. Ever.
Just constant.
Literally never. I pressed play and I was like, "Jeez, that's how it sounds." I had them without the sub maybe 6 years, and then I got the subs and I was like, "That's it."
There's something about a good sub. I've got a really. I don't have subs in this studio. In my Detroit studio, I bought a really cheap sub, and it's not good. But when you go into a room and it's like all sounds warm and you're just like, oh, this is heaven. I used to use Optimum Mastering in Bristol. And I went in and did a few like in-person mastering sessions, and he's got like the PMC stack, the like big fucking, and you just go in there and you're like, this just sounds amazing.
Yeah. I love those. Yeah, Metropolis have those.
Yeah.
Piece, so to speak.
How much of a game changer is it having your studio in your house?
Game changer or game killer? It's kind of pros and cons.
Yeah.
I think it's potentially a relationship killer. It was during COVID, at least. It was difficult during COVID because obviously, well, I've split up with my partner, who I was with then, and it's just a lot of pressure coming in here every day. And you know, we had 3 children, and they were out there, and I was in here in my own little world, and then sort of walked into this other world every evening. I was like, whoa,
what's going on? Yeah,
it was hard. It's hard from that respect. But obviously there's pros and cons. You know, I roll out of bed. It's like you said, I speak to you in 20 earlier, and I was like, oh, I didn't realise that. Well, we were speaking in 2 hours. But, I'm here. Do you know what I mean? It's in the house. You're just sort of always there, and you can dip in and out. You know, when I was in London, I guess it suits me now at my stage of life. When I was in London, it was more regimented. You know, I went to work and I was there all day
and left.
Yeah. I kind of did. I ended up kind of doing like 10 till 6.
Yeah.
That was my day. Never worked weekends. I think that's important.